What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Sullivan Project podcast. I'm your host, Harold Sullivan. I hope y'all are feeling blessed because every day is a miracle. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Danny stopped by. It's been a while. I mean, it might have been a few years. I don't know. I don't have any concept of time since I lost my sight about 4.5 years ago. I'm actually almost through the audio Bible 25 times now. There's a couple hours left, and it's 87 hours. And I got that right after, a few months after I lost my sight. That was the first book I got, and I was like, man, it's $14.99 for an audio book. I was like, uh, it should be free. It's the Bible, right? But then I realized, people put their time, and there's a lot of different people reading parts of that, and it's 87 hours. So God bless. Again, without that, I wouldn't have nobody to, or I wouldn't have nobody to listen to the Bible. I read like one page in my life in the past. I was trying to get into a thing where I was like, if I could read one page a day. And but it happened again. It happened eventually. So yeah, I'm almost going into my 26th time. And Danny stopped by, so let's give you an update on that. He's living on his mom's couch again. I guess he just got out of jail. I don't know. He's in there for a month and a half or something. Again, I mean, he's been in jail, and I, I don't know all the details of both sides, but it's a thing with him and this girl, and it seems to me what he keeps saying is he just calls the police and says he's doing this and that, and he goes to jail, and he never has a say. But this has been happening for 20 years, uh, and they have two kids. One's 3, and one's about to be 2. One just turned 3, so it's tough. But she keeps throwing him out basically, and he's a little nonchalant about it. But dude, going to jail is a big thing. You know what I mean? I was like, do you think you should have been put in jail for any reason ever? And he said no. Well, then why are you know what I mean? Why do you do it? He don't want to lose his kids. He don't want to not be able to see them. And I understand all that. So God bless. I'm trying. I told him he could talk to me out and come over and hang out for a minute. Whatever. So he did, and I got to give him some presents for the kids, and some. We had a little chat, caught up on a few things, but I mean, he's still going. You know what I mean? He's had all kinds of problems too. He's found out he's had like low or high blood pressure. He had some kind of mini stroke a few months ago, and the dude just keeps going. And he just probably needs to make better decisions. Like a lot of us. It's hard. You know what I mean? I'm not the judge, just a messenger, but I'm here for advice. And if anybody wants to be on the show, you can call 724-513-1472. We're doing audio right now, not video. If you wanted to, as a guest anyway, where you can leave a message or just say something or get something out, or email hs19782015 at outlook.com, and you can find us on TikTok and YouTube under Harold Sullivan 78, and on Facebook Harold Sullivan period 35. And lots of music going on. We got some new celebrity promos, cameos, Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville, and we have some more coming up, celebrities. Uh, and like I said, yeah, I'm here. If you need to talk, just call. Sometimes it just takes one moment to get by, and that's all you need. And that's really how we get by, is one moment at a time. We just don't remember each one unless you really think back. You'll remember certain points, but not every little nugget like on the trail. So call, and I'll cry with you. I'll help you. I can listen and talk, and that's what you can do. You can help somebody. Somebody might have a problem and you don't even know, and you save them. And then somebody might die and you didn't know they had a problem, and then you're wishing you could have helped. And I'm in that spot. I've had people gone. I've known over almost 40 people now that died, and I've been close to death almost 40 times. I mean, I've had so many surgeries when I was a kid. I wasn't supposed to make it. I was born with an autoimmune disease, and I haven't been able to walk since I was a child. And this podcast is all about, everyone has a book, and you can't. Everyone has a story. You can't judge a book by its cover. And we talk about metaphysical, spiritual, paranormal, supernatural, and then movies and art, entertainment, TV, audio books, regular versions. They're all the ones I get are in both. Which I just got done with All Star Superman. It's available in audio on Audible now. Let me talk about some past people. Actually, I had a vision last night, a dream, if you will, but I think it was a vision of a caregiver I had in the past. She was elderly, well, older then, and she might have passed by now, but it was so real, I believe it was her. And she didn't speak, but she came up and gave me a hug, and I kind of gave her an update of what's been going on in my life and told her about how I'm in the Bible and all that, because she was religious. And we only had a thing, like a quarrel kind of once. She was very nice, but she was strict, but she respected me even though I was younger. I was a child, kind of, to her. She only a few people like that treated me a certain way I wanted to be, and she did. But one time, she got a little uppity with me, and I locked my door, and she came back yelling on the other side, and then that's when I was like, I'm done with her. So it was just once, but stuff happens, and people have human emotions. And even when she saw me after that, she was always nice to me and her husband. And so God bless Sarah. And I think she may have passed because I just saw something right before that. Light toward me in case you don't pick up something on the screen. I'm blind, but I've been picking up stuff since I lost my sight, colors and orbs and different stuff, seeing stuff, and or check out old episodes and you'll be amazed. I mean, believing isn't seeing, it's concealing. So think about that one. It's a Sullyism. I've been writing all these little things. So yeah, she came up to me, hugged me. It was the greatest. It was like an angel hug, like heaven. And that was it pretty much. And I woke up. And I got some other names I want to mention. I have been doing that again lately. I've been mentioning my angel list, some of the people that died, some of the names. So let me see. We got computer. What are my stickies?
I found 57 notes.
Yeah.
Mark, Roger, Leanne, Leah, Joe,
Computer,
Chuck.
stop. Okay, so Mark was one of my uncles on my stepdad's side, along with Albert. Uh, and Leanne, my aunt on my stepdad's side. Scott died too. My stepdad, Scott, he died too, so they all passed. Roger was my other stepdad for a few years. Roger, Mark, Leanne. Computer, what are my stickies?
I found 57 notes.
Okay.
Mark, Roger, Leanne, Leah, Joe, Chuck.
Computer, stop. Leah was my stepmom on my dad's side. We got a couple of Joes, I think. And then we have
I'm not quite sure how to help you.
yeah, technology don't work right. Right now, my TV, the Roku remote's not working again. Like it keeps unpairing, so the voice thing don't work when I push it. We have a friend, Joe, who stayed here at my mom's for a while, and then went on new in a town called Ambridge, and then we have at least two Chucks, I believe. My God. Computer, what are my stickies?
I found 57 notes. Mark, Roger, Leanne, Leah, Joe, Chuck. Jurassic Park mood.
Computer,
Nintendo
stop.
update.
Okay, so yeah, and then there's like 30 something other people. Oh my God. So why are you still here? We're all still here for some reason. So think about it. We live and die in the blink of an eye. And I'm keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I told God when I lost my sight, and I prayed, and I didn't want to live anymore. And I said I'm gonna do what I can to help anybody the rest of my life, whatever I can do. I even went to church, and the pastor said I couldn't really do much because I was in a wheelchair, and he's in a scooter. So I'm like, you know what? I started a podcast. We're almost at 500 subscribers on YouTube, y'all. I'm 488 as I record this. Oh man, let's do this. Let's get 1,000. Let's keep going. Like I said, share, comment, like, follow. It's one man is every man, and one man can make a difference. You know what I mean? But together, all is one, and that's what I believe. You don't have to have a certain religion or God or this or that. Believe in you, if anything. But we're all connected. We're all one, and we're all it. Okay. We got the angels updates on the podcast. We did that. We'll talk about Mood. I got some more stuff from mood.com. I recommend that. I talked to them about maybe trying to see if I can get some stuff to try. Maybe I'll mention them on here, but I don't get paid. I'm not being sponsored, but I'm trying the products THC and CBD. Love the Rice Krispies. They're like 11 a piece, but they have different flavors. Cola, 10 grams or 10 milligrams of CBD and THC, but just enough. They got, what else did I try? I got some brownie bites. Haven't tried them yet, but I will let you know. The cookies are very good. They're like $7 a piece, but they got like chocolate chip. They got the kind with the candy M&Ms and them, snickerdoodles. 10 milligrams, not very much. They have different doses though. You can get Rice Krispies are 50 milligrams. The ones I get, but I break them up. And then they got taffy. Oh, it's very good. The best taffy ever had. Different flavors of taffy. They got freaking cannabis or whatever weed in it. So I recommend trying the stuff. Try it once. There's a free shipping on $100 or more, but the shipping's only like $5 or $6, so that's not much. Freshest stuff you ever ate, though. They got so much other stuff too that I haven't even got tried or gotten to. They do have vapes and they do have flour and all that, but I'm trying the edibles and the candies. Oh, they got popcorn. They got popcorn, different flavors like caramel corn. Oh my gosh, just a hint of THC taste. You taste almost like eating edible at home, but you know, if you do too much, you might go to sleep. That's all I'm gonna say. So check out Mood. Also, go to Lord Green Dispensary in Ambridge, and they'll check out the Jane Silent Bob promo on YouTube and TikTok under Harold Sullivan 78 and Facebook Harold Sullivan period 35. They said if you come in, you get a free gummy if you mention that you heard about them on the podcast, on the Sullivan Project podcast. So I appreciate that. Let's talk about Jurassic Park. Uh, we'll do the trilogy, the first three movies here. I'm going to do a review, and that was one of my top trilogies when I did reviews of best trilogies, and I'll give it 7 out of 10. The first three movies, just the first three. So the first one at the time, I mean that CGI, that and Terminator. Terminator came out right before that. Terminator 2, the second one, and that's where the visual effects. Before that was Roger Rabbit was like one of the first, and then an episode before that of young Sherlock Holmes, there was like a stained glass dude that came to life. So there was the evolution of the CGI, those things there. But Jurassic Park, yeah, when that came out, oh my gosh, especially the scenes when the first scenes of the dinosaurs walking the brontosaurus, and they're looking up, and then all the other ones come running by. So real at the time, so great. The acting, so great. The old dude John Hammond with the cane, even Samuel L. was in there. Hold on to your butts. That was one of his famous lines, and people don't remember. The one dude was on Seinfeld who played the one dude's brother was on there who trying to steal the DNA of the dinosaur. I mean, and then the second one, Jeff Goldblum, well, he's in there, of course. He comes back to the island because his girl goes there not knowing really what the deal is. And so he has to go rescue her. And then in the third one, they bring the two daughters from the first one back. Of course, their daughter says he's never going to go back, but they kind of get tricked into going. And then, it was just very good, though. They were all decent. Now there's just so many of them. And the plot went crazy. They're all over the world now. But Jurassic Park, just great, the first ones. Uh, Check them out. I really recommend them. Computer, what are my stickies? And of course, John Williams did the
I
score.
didn't find any notes about course.
Computer, what are my stickies?
I found
Good
57
Lord.
notes. Mark, Roger, Leanne, Leah, Joe, Chuck. Jurassic Park, Mood, Nintendo updates, Lindsay, All-Star Superman.
Computer, stop.
Shotgun.
Okay, and then I finally got to check out I Know Who Killed Me, the movie from 2007 with Lindsay Lohan. And this is good. I mean, it didn't get rated high, but I'd give it a 7 out of 10, which is usually my number, and that's probably high for what it should be. But she acted good in a lot of her movies. This was more mysterious, kind of horror. Basically, just a girl is kidnapped, and the dude's cutting her body apart, but she escapes, and then she thinks she's somebody else. It's just very different and very complex, kind of, and you might have to see it a few times because me being blind, I mean, I almost didn't understand it. So, but it's very good. I Know Who Killed Me, Lindsay Lohan. there is a sex scene, so most people were at the time were like, oh, she, because her alternate ego is a stripper, like the bad girl, the one that comes back. So, oh yeah, so we'll get to that, and let me give you an update while I was thinking about it because my leg is hurt. I did. I updated y'all a few months ago or a while back here about my. I finally got a cushion from my seat, $20 cushion on Amazon. Been trying to get one from the wheelchair place since they brought me the wheelchair 3 or 4 years ago, and they brought me a couple of the wrong ones. So I got like bloody cuts on my legs and just sores and gashes. Just I'm not comfortable. And the leg rest never fit right on the wheelchair, so my one leg hangs between and not across because the leg rests are too big. And so I couldn't figure out how this whole time I'm trying to figure out moving it and putting, I even tried a belt the other day going across the leg rest and lay on a belt under my leg, like so my leg can lay on the belt. Didn't work. And then it just came to me getting some popsicle sticks, like the big four, or the ones, the tongue ones, and tape them or glue them onto the leg rest so they stick out a few inches and my leg can sit on there. And today's the first day I've tried it. Oh man, I mean, hopefully after maybe a few weeks of this, my leg will start getting better and the blood will come back to the right areas. My one foot was touching the floor, my foot smashing my toe, and like I said, I got these areas on the sides of my leg and underneath from just pressure. It hurts, scabs and calloused and pain. And pee gets on that stuff. It hurts and burns. Like it must be raw and irritated. And my sister cares for me, helps me put Neosporins and that on there, but it's just I can't get off the pressure. So today I'm actually trying these wooden sticks. That's all it took. A couple of wooden sticks, a $20 freaking cushion maybe to help. So and it itches real bad too. That's the thing because of all the pressure. It's like wearing a seatbelt all day. And you take it off, and it itches at night. My leg itches so bad from just sitting on it all day with the pressure in the wrong spot. These doctors and that they need help, and somebody should have been doing something. The guy who ordered the wheelchair from the wheelchair company got it wrong again, and I had asked for a different guy because the last couple of times they had got it wrong before. You know what I mean? And they measure me and everything, every part of me. They move my arms and legs to see what they could go, like where they go, and they still don't bring the right size. So what can you do? You can only do what you can do. So I'm doing everything. Last thing I thought I was glue something or tape something across to just rest my legs and give a little bit of relief off the one leg. And so that's what I'm doing today. Oh man, I sit 12 hours or more on my hips. I've been 40 years almost. I haven't walked. I'm 47 almost. So so we got Lindsay and we're going to talk about All Star Superman. Yeah, All Star Superman's available on Audible, and I think they said Kingdom Come is coming out, which were comic books, and they adapted them into audio, and there's different voices, so it's like a full play. And I remember I bought All Star Superman #1 years ago, and I used to buy comics, but I never read them. I used to just draw, from the pages. And I only read two in my life. One was uh, Halloween Trick or Treat. No, Halloween One Good Scare it was called. Halloween One Good Scare. And then I read the adapted version of Superman Returns, the novel comic that was better than the movie. It had more scenes that they cut out. Like the part where Lex set up uh, the idea of Superman's planet being found from in prison so Superman would leave Earth so that he would miss his parole. And there's other stuff that they added into that, but it made the movie make more sense. So those are the only two comics I ever actually read when I had sight. But yeah, All Star Superman, it's good. Spoilers. There's all kinds of different stories. There's time travel by Superman. There's a lot of it. The new Superman, a lot of it was based off of this, so you can tell if you check it out. Uh, there's a Sun Eater. There's these big creatures. There's Superman gives his powers to Lois, like he creates his thing. Superman gets sick by Luthor sets it up so Superman gets sick and he thinks he's dying. He's gonna die, and then the son's about to die, so Superman has to sacrifice himself. And the end of it ends with a memorial. I'm not going to say more than that, but it's good. I recommend All Star Superman on Audible, and then of course you get the comics. That was like 12 issues, I think. But the Audible book's about 6 or 7 hours maybe. So I don't read that, man. It's a comic book, so it's kind of odd, but I'd give it probably an 8. Because they're odd stories that couldn't be movies, but they're good enough to be comics. They're way out there. But they pretty much include almost all the Superman, uh, different Superman characters and stuff, and little short stories that all link together, kind of. So check that out. And then I think we got one more. Computer, what are my stickies? Computer, what are my stickies?
I found 57 notes.
Yeah, they don't listen.
Mark, Roger, Leanne, Leah, Joe, Chuck. Jurassic Park moved. Nintendo updates Lindsay. All-Star Superman.
Computer, stop.
Shot.
Okay, Nintendo. I'm going to talk about my favorite and the best Nintendo games. Old Nintendo now, original. Going up into, see, Nintendo 64 had WrestleMania, which was great. Super Nintendo had Beavis and Butthead. I believe that was a funny game. You got to go around just kicking butt with Beavis and Butthead. I think that was Nintendo days. It might have been PlayStation. I don't remember. They all kind of blend together. And then Zelda on Nintendo and Super Nintendo. I had the one on Super Nintendo. That's the one I beat. Legend of Zelda, that version. And then you have the regular Nintendo, which of course had every kind of game and everything. There was millions of games. I don't know how many, 50, 60 at different times, got rid of them. People just, sometimes they quit working. You got to blow in them or put a Q-tip in there and then stick it in the thing. It was crazy. I'm not lying. It was like a big cartridge, you stuck in the machine. And down in it or in the front. There was different versions. Uh, so Mario 3 was probably my favorite out of the first. But Mario, the 3 Marios, and then the soundtrack was so cool. Probably one of the best soundtracks of any kind of soundtrack was the Mario games. And everybody knows it when they hear it. But Zelda, Mario, you did have, what was that one? That freaking Puff. I can't remember that little freaking Puff thing. They used to go around. That was on the handheld Nintendo. Uh, it was just this little Puff, and I can't remember, like a cloudy thing. But it was cool too. They actually had a Nightmare on Elm Street game and a Friday the 13th. The Friday the 13th is iconic because it didn't really have nothing to do with Jason except for he popped up once in a while. And then there was a cabin with his mom's head in it, I think. Uh, it was weird. Uh, and then there was a Bruce Willis game. And then there was I think there was a Superman game. There was a Bruce Willis game called Armageddon. Yeah, where he was shooting people, kind of like Die Hard, but it wasn't called Die Hard. He was like a cop, I guess, or just a bad dude going around. And that was one of my favorite games. There was a space game called Earth something, or I don't remember that, but it was almost like Star Trek, where you got to go around with a spaceship to different planets and create missions. You got to fly around in space, and it was so neat at that time to have this almost whole open world, but yet Nintendo went sideways, and once you went so far, you couldn't go any farther. It wasn't open world like the video games now. So Nintendo, uh, Punch, there was some boxing games, and then Punch Out, different ones. I think Mike Tyson's Punch Out might have been on Nintendo eventually, or that was on another format. But there was boxing games called Punch Out. Those were the first boxing. Blades of Steel was hockey. And then you had Tecmo Bowl football, Tecmo Super Bowl football, where you could juke people out. I used to use the Barry Sanders character, but they weren't really their names. They were named after other similar names but you knew who the characters were. Because back then, they wouldn't use the names. So there was a lot of good sports games. I mean, they had lots of stuff on there to play. And then, of course, the Donkey Kong one, and then the Duck Hunt. Mario Brothers Donkey Kong was the first ones with them together. So I recommend Nintendo. You can find them online now. You can find brand new machines that they made, but I don't think they remake the cartridges. You gotta just try to find them, and they're getting expensive. I mean, even though at the time they weren't a lot of money, and you don't know if they're gonna work or not. It's a hit or miss. So, but you could have hours and hours and hours of entertainment. Believe me. There was a Back to the Future one that was very difficult to beat. A lot of them were hard to beat, even though they were supposed to be for kids. The Nintendo games, but they were fun. And you had like 2, 3 buttons. That was it. You know what I mean? So love is a choice. So is the hate. And I love y'all. And be the light. Like I tell people, I'm still here. I'm gonna be here while God got me here to do something. And y'all too. And Tatiana TT, I had a vision about her a while back. If she's listening, I actually heard that I got a subscription from her or subscribe request on YouTube from YouTube. Reach out. You know what I mean? I might have something to say to you. So, all right, love y'all.